So a mood board is a visual tool that allows you to communicate your concepts and visual ideas. Mood boards can be physical or digital. In this class, we're going to focus on making digital mood boards. And that's because they're going to be easier to create because you can get all of the images you need online and bring them into your mood board. Plus, digital mood boards will be easier for you to share with your classmates in this course. But first, I want to give you two examples of physical mood boards to get you thinking about what these things look like and what their purpose is. Here's one example of a physical mood board. There's a few things I want to point out to you on it. One, that in terms of color, we see a lot of gray and blue and orange highlights. Also, we see a lot of cloth, and that projects a particular kind of style or mood to the entire board. We also see that the cloth has a kind of handmade batik style to it. And we also see some projection of shapes. So we see some circles and we see some lines and so forth. Here's one example of how I tried to take that mood board and overlay it onto WordPress. You'll see that in this instance, I really tried to focus on not just the blue, but the sort of hand-painted piece of the mood board, and that's what I applied to the background. And I tried to bring in some of the orange. And what I did there is I made the header where my name is in orange, and I also particularly used a font that looks sort of like handwriting to evoke this sort of sense of the website being handmade. Here's another example of me trying to use the same exact mood board, but do it in a different way in WordPress. In this case, I went for a background that's a lot less busy than the previous one. And you'll see I found a background that's actually watercolor, but still brings in that same coloring. And again, I tried to really focus on bringing in a header that has a handwritten feel to it. Let's look at one more physical mood board. This one is very different than the other one I showed you. In this one, we see branches and other kinds of wood. We see slate, burlap, rope, very different materials than the kind of fabric heavy one we looked at previously. And we also see in terms of coloring, some tan black and just a little bit of green accents with that leaf. And here's the example of how I try to take that mood board and apply it to WordPress. As you can see, mood boards are sort of like really sophisticated collages that help you articulate a mood or ambiance or style that's very difficult to put into words. In this class, I want you to use a mood board to communicate both to me, to your classmates, and to yourself what you want your website to look like.